sponsor for the day is the Holiday South. We very much appreciate their sponsorship. Welcome to all our teams on sheet 2. Murray Ward and Team Manitoba. Their opponents, Ward Bell and Team Saskatchewan. On sheet 3, Pembina and Team British Columbia. Their opponents, Team Ontario, led by Janet Carter. On sheet 4, Team Northern Ontario, led by Al Wagner. And their opponents, Team British Columbia, led by Wes Craig. And on sheet 5, from Nova Scotia, teams led by Jocelyn Nix. And their opponents, Team Manitoba, led by Judy Caldwell.
Welcome curling fans, this is Draw 21 coming to you from the 2022 Canadian Masters Curling Championships being held at the Pembina Curling Club. These are the semi-final games, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty in the tournament. Just to recap for you, in the men's semi-finals we'll have Manitoba playing Saskatchewan on sheet B, and Northern Ontario and BC playing on sheet B. In women's semi-final action, it will be Manitoba against Saskatchewan on sheet E, and BC against Ontario on sheet C. Our feature game tonight that we're covering is Northern Ontario against BC. Northern Ontario will have hammer and will be throwing the yellow stones. My co-host Daniel is currently on a business commitment, but he will be here shortly. He anticipates hopefully being here by the second end. BC has put up a center guard with their first drop, and Northern Ontario is attempting to come around that center guard. And that rock will stick around in the back 12-foot. BC is attempting to come around that center guard with the intern. Sweepers are just watching it now. They're on it a little bit. I think they're trying to come into the back one now. Make contact, but will not remove the stone. Northern Ontario with an excellent draw around that center guard. Looks like they're fully buried in the top 4 foot, full 4 foot. BC is trying to come around that rock, the center guard, and nice freeze to the shot in the 4 foot. The starting lineup for Team BC today is skip Wes Craig, third Ron Schmidt, second Tony Anslow, and lead Victor Gable. That freeze attempt is a little heavy and just chips off the red rock and rolls into the back 4 foot. BC looking to try an in-turn takeout on the rock that's biting around the 3 o'clock position. Nice shot there. Today's starting lineup for Team Northern Ontario is skip Alan Hackner, third Eric Harnden, second Frank Morissette, and lead Bruce Monroe. Looks like Team Ontario is going to try a quiet tap back. Sweepers are working hard on this one, but it looks like it will wreck on the front. BC looking to remove that yellow Northern Ontario rock with the in-turn takeout. Nice pick out there. So BC is now lying 4.
Northern Ontario does not make the double, but they've kind of rolled behind that corner guard. And it's close for whose second shot. BC looking to play a quiet draw. Hopefully corner freeze to that rock. Maybe tap it back a little bit. It's going to be close. Just misses it. Northern Ontario playing a takeout on the shot rock. Eric Harnden with a nice little hit and roll to the forefoot. Good separation. I think Northern Ontario might be lying too, but it is very close. Skip West Craig attempting an out-turn takeout of the Northern Ontario stone. Makes a nice hit and roll. And I believe he is lying shot rock. Northern Ontario looks like they're lining up the in-turn draw. Probably would like to just tap that red rock back a little bit. Working hard on this one. Ooh, he's by. Nice shot. Update for you on sheet B. First end was blanked. The score remains 0-0. Manitoba retains the hammer. BC looking to kind of corner freeze to that shot Northern Ontario rock. Sweepers are working really hard on this one. He's come up a little light. Looks like they're looking pretty closely to see who might be second shot. Looks like Northern Ontario will attempt the draw, hoping to have a good line and maybe come down to that red one and tap it back. Sweepers are on it early. Stop to lie 2 for sure. Not sure if they're going to try measuring it or if it will be conceded. I'd say when in doubt, put the measuring stick on it. So in our feature game, it was a measure, and it turns out that Northern Ontario has taken 3 and is up 3-0 after 1 into play. Update for you on sheet E. Nova Scotia has taken 2 in the first end. Update on sheet C. BC has taken 1 in the first half. Getting back to our game. BC is looking to put up a corner guard on the left-hand side of the sheet as we look at it. Nicely done. It's in the free guard zone. Northern Ontario lead. Draws to the back forefoot. BC will ignore that rock and is looking to come around the corner guard. BC rock is over curled, but they do have a double guard. Northern Ontario has thrown the intern and looks like it's going to be coming right back to their own shot stone. Freezes right on it. BC throwing the intern takeout at those two rocks. Sweepers are on it right from the get-go. They're looking for plan B, maybe hoping to get the double, or maybe no. Maybe nice little hit and roll. Good shot there by BC. Looks like the rock is 7/8 buried. Northern Ontario looks like they're going to try a quiet halfway takeout. Sweepers are on this one. Oh, he just ticks the guard. BC is staying aggressive. It looks like they're going to try and come around that corner guard again. Sweepers are not touching this one. Just come down to it and just tap it. Skip Bell Hockner is looking over that shot. It looks like you can almost see most of it. Looks like he's opting to go with a bumper weight hit. Sweepers are just keeping it clean right now. He's good shot by Eric Harnden. Good sweeping by the front end to get it by that set of guards out there. Come in right now.
Okay, he's back there. Back, okay.
There might be a possible double on this shot, but it would be close to jamming, so they're also looking at and just adjusted the guards. I think the rocks must have been moved a little bit by the sweeper for Northern Ontario. BC playing that intern takeout, quieter weights. Good shot there. They avoid the jam. Northern Ontario is looking at the takeout. I think they're a little concerned if they roll right behind the guards that the set of guards are set up for a relatively straightforward run back. Eric Harnden will hit and stick on a nose takeout there. Skip West Craig has indicated to try and hit and roll behind those corner guards. Looking to play probably about a board weight takeout. Nice hit and roll by BC. They have second and third shots. Mostly covered under those two red guards. Third shot is probably about edge to edge with the red second shot. And looks like Skip Al Hackner is elected to try and make a play on that rock. Rock looks like it needs to curl. Looks like he will make contact and hit and roll out. So BC has second shot, and it is completely buried behind those two corner guards. And looks like they will play the in-turn takeout on the open shot rock to try and lie two. Skip West Craig throwing the in-turn takeout. Sweepers are on it now. Line looks pretty good. Got a nice hit and stick, and now they lie two. Pretty sure Northern Ontario will just play the same hit. And that's what they've indicated they're going to do. Northern Ontario has the hit and stick for shot. BC will have a hit and stick to lie two and take two in this end if they can. My co-host Daniel Burchard has just arrived.
Hi there, Neil. How's everyone doing? Better late than never. I hope Neil's been holding down the fort. Looks like a pretty interesting game we've got started here between Northern Ontario and British Columbia.
This rock looks pretty good, Daniel. Looks like he's going to get a deuce back. Sweepers are just keeping it clean. Nice shot by BC. So after two ends of play, it's Northern Ontario 3, BC 2.
All right, and now we're starting the third end. Northern Ontario taking back the hammer. A really solid end from British Columbia, taking their 2 after giving up 3 in the first end. Very important for them to get those 2 points. So let's see if they can put on some pressure to Northern Ontario to try and tie it up here.
Update for you on Sheet B in the men's semi-final. Manitoba took 1 in the second end and leads 1-0 after 2 ends of play.
So BC throwing the center guard on their first rock. And Northern Ontario is going to try and bury it around there, top 8.
There's another update.
Yeah.
And an update on Sheet E from the women's semifinal. Manitoba took 1 in the second end to trail Nova Scotia 2-1.
Sweeper's trying to make that rock curl a little bit. Looks like he's got pretty nice weight, Daniel.
Very nice, just stopping, just biting a piece of the forefoot.
Nice shot there. That will narrow the scoring area down. BC with not much room to try and bury something in there around that. Looks like they've elected to try and just corner freeze to shot stone.
This one looks like it's hanging out a little bit. They may change to try and come around that yellow. And we get some late finish. Just rolling off to the tee line on the side. And, that red's now open, but they were able to move that yellow to be about 2/3 exposed on the intern side.
So Ontario will try the takeout. Not sure if they want to roll wide, and it appears to be the indication right now. Sweepers are on it. Looking to get a little roll to the outside, but nose hit there. Finished quite hard at the end. What's the number?
So now British Columbia is going to call the freeze right in the pocket of those 2 yellow stones. If they can get in the right spot right where indicated there, it's going to be really hard to remove. So, and it'll be buried. Just off screen, there's a red center guard about halfway up the free guard zone.
It's quite a finessey shot though, Daniel. I mean, a little bit of a roll off either way, and now might give Northern Ontario the chance to hit in line 3, so, which is the risk you take. But I don't know if you necessarily need to gamble this early in the game. Scoring 2 in the second innings put them right back in the game.
I think it's still early enough in the end. They feel comfortable that they can throw this. They just got to make sure they're not going to bounce too hard. Just clip off one and sit open there. There's about half of the red stone exposed on the outturn side.
He did chip that yellow rock over a little bit too, so it's now fully visible on the left-hand side of that red guard.
So Hackner's calling Frank Morissette for the soft weight hit, trying to remove that red stone.
Sweepers have got to move this one. It's curling up nicely now. And Northern Ontario will now lie 3. See what BC decides to do here. There is a relatively straightforward double, but
Do you think you could double and spin up behind cover there, Neil?
I think it's pretty tough. You'd have to throw pretty big weight to do it. Oh, rock was slightly higher. The rock they want to hit first. I think there'd be a good chance to do it. But
Playing the inside out. We've seen lots of action throughout the week on the inside out hits here.
mine looks pretty good.
Oh, and look, trying to spin up behind cover.
Yeah, I think
Not quite enough though.
it's still
So-
wide open. So if Northern Ontario hits and rolls underneath, then BC is going to have their work cut out for them.
Well, Hackner calling for the hack weight shot, backline weight to tap this red out, try and get to the inside roll.
Sweepers are just keeping it clean right now. Oh, now they're trying to move it a bit. Make a nice nose takeout. Now they're back to line 3 again.
So third, Ron Schmidt's going to be called for the intern hit on that top yellow. You can see maybe just all of the yellow stone behind that center guard.
Yeah, from my view, Daniel, you can just it's edge to edge with the guard, so you just you would have to get by the guard fairly tight to throw in any kind of weight. But
If they're able to, he's able to get to nose, there might be a double opportunity there.
I definitely think there's a double if you can get to nose. But you definitely don't want to wreck.
Trying to get this to curl. I'm gonna get a little bit wide and cross it, getting the back 4 stone and jamming the one rock on the back of the button.
It looks like Northern Ontario is line 2 still. Although it looks like it is pretty much wide open on the outturn side.
Do you put another one in here if you're Northern Ontario, play the hit, or do you play the guard on the side that's open?
If I were them, I'd be looking to draw another one in and kind of bury around that center guard. Because that, if they don't do that, I mean, that is the way for BC to get out of this end, by drawing around that center guard and freezing to the rock behind the button. With the curl that we've seen, it's very doable. It looks like what that's trying to do is just draw in there and cut off that draw attempt that BC might have tried.
Northern Ontario called the hit here. They're trying to hit and roll towards the center.
Well, there you go. I'm totally wrong.
And spin behind cover, so now 3 rocks in a row. They're all open. But still close, still flirting with that center guard.
It's actually a pretty nice shot that Eric Harnden made there. I wonder if there's a potential triple there, Daniel.
Possibly, Neil, but you're playing a
You'd be playing big weight.
big weight. And the sweepers are on it.
Looks like they're
Trying to cross it here to get 2. It's going to catch back one, push it out for 3rd stone. So now yellow only sitting 1st and 3rd.
Northern Ontario is indicating that they could make a play on that second shot. Looks like they're trying to determine which turn they think is the best way to approach it.
Northern Ontario had indicated initially potentially bumper weight to try and stick the shooter. Oh, and no, calling a little bit more weight. They might be trying to hit it nose through the hole.
That appears to be the indication. That's not an easy shot, though. It's pretty close.
Play, trying to
jam.
weight came down enough. Just what great shot. Missing the back one, rolling open to the other side, but able to miss the jam and sit 3. Leaves BC with a double.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance to make that double and actually be buried behind the center guard. Update for you on Sheet B, which is the other men's semi-final. Saskatchewan took 1 in the third end, and the game is now tied 1-1.
Sweepers are trying to hold this one. Real close to that guard. Good scrub. Very nice double. Great shot by Skip Westcraig. That double keeps that redstone mostly fully buried, as we can see there.
You can't see very much, Daniel. I like it. I'd say maybe a skinny 5th.
Ackner just indicating back house weight, trying to move that off the top 4 foot.
I'd say Al is known for his nice touch, though, with those quieter weight shots, so he makes quite a few of those. I suspect he'll be very close on this shot.
It's going to be all the line here. It's, as we've seen throughout the nights, really big curl with a certain weight. Once it comes up a little bit more, it straightens out a bit, so it's definitely a finesse shot here.
Yeah, this is where the sweepers really come into play on this shot.
Sweepers trying to hold it around that center guard. You might see them switch the sweeping as soon as they get by.
Yeah, they switched.
They're just going to maintain for weight. Oh, fantastic shot. Just enough weight to push it to the third shot and sit 2. It's really good control of the weight and sweeping. So a couple of great shots from both skips there. Now Wes Craig's going to try and hit and roll buried. A little bit more weight here.
It's got to curl a bit. It might be. Should be
Just trying to
good.
get to nose. Enough to sit shot and not jam on the back one.
So Northern Ontario will have a wide open takeout to hit and lie 2. this now?
So just a light clean here.
Good. I think he's got it.
Nice hit by Al Hackner to take two. The third end to take the lead, 5-2. Northern Ontario over British Columbia. We're back. We'll give you an update on one of the women's semifinal games. Team Manitoba just stole two in the third end to take the lead 3-2 over Nova Scotia.
Northern Ontario making an in-turn draw.
This one's going to slide just behind the button.
BC will put up that corner guard now. Try and generate some offense.
We've got an update from Sheet C here. Team British Columbia stole two in the third end to lead 3-0 over Ontario. That's the other women's semifinal. So a nice corner guard by the men's British Columbia team. And Northern Ontario is going to try and follow their first one down, get a second stone in the forefoot.
Nice draw to the top of the 8-foot by Bruce Monroe. Wes Craig contemplating drawing around the corner, or looks like he's elected to try and come to the back one in the 4-foot area. Now he's changed his mind. He's looking to tap that one in the top 8-foot back, try and create a bit of a wall behind the tee line.
This is tricky because they got to make sure they're by their own corner guard.
Line looks decent. It's a question whether he's
Curl and trying to spin off that top yellow, trying to get buried behind their corner.
So they opted for the plan B as opposed to bumping the yellow rock back. They just chipped off it and tried to roll behind their own corner guard.
Probably about almost 3/4 exposed, half open.
So that rock is about half to 2/3 buried. around that corner. Frank Morissette looks like he's attempting to play a quiet tap-back takeout.
Once this starts moving off the center line, we should see a lot of curl here.
Sweepers are trying to move it over. Eric Carndon working hard on this one. Curling up. He's got a nice shot.
Great shot by Morissette to roll in line with the other Yellowstones.
Just my observation from what I've seen so far, Daniel, but it just seems like Northern Ontario has really good control over the weight for making those soft shots. They've made a lot of nice ones so far.
Keeping in that hack to bumper weight, been able to really use the curl of the ice to make some great shots.
And get the sweepers involved as well, where the sweepers actually can make an impact on the shot. So, key shot here for BC. Looking to freeze down on that shot rock.
I'm just waiting for this one to finish a little bit. And that's just going to roll off.
Hot.
So that's going to give Northern Ontario an opportunity to make a play at that red stone. If you're Northern Ontario, do you try and hit and roll and stick there, or do you just roll out? You're just leaving a lot of stones behind the tee line.
Well, if they could make the hit and roll right on top of theirs, I think that would be a really ideal shot. But it's you definitely don't want to be sticking around and creating a wall of rocks. So more conservative play would probably be to hit and roll out. But it looks like they're playing that nice quiet weight to hit and roll in there.
Trying to spin that as far as they can. It was a great shot. Get it away from that center and not creating a wall right behind the button.
Still a very useful rock for BC though. If you could draw anything on the top 4 foot, then there's lots of jam possibilities. But they seem to be looking at the double.
Well, sometimes when you've got the hammer and you're looking at 4 opponent stones in the house, you want to start doing something about it. So I certainly don't blame them for calling the double here.
A nice double there, Daniel. Well executed shot there.
Unable to push the second stone completely out, but likely won't come into play the rest of the end.
Looks like Northern Ontario will attempt a run back to that rock that's in the top 8 foot. Or will they get aggressive and maybe play a draw?
Oh.
No shit would work. Slightly high side would probably be the preferred shot.
Trying to get this to curl. And not going to curl enough to catch that red stone, but will spin over and roll to the side behind the corner red guard. So that opens the door for British Columbia to draw around their own guard and sit 2 here with the hammer.
Third, Ron Schmidt attempting to make this draw around the corner guard. Sweepers are on it. Might be a little tight for line. No.
They're a little concerned. They don't want to oversweep it for weight. Trying to play it as close as they can.
Looks like it might be a little warm.
Just going to slide all the way to the back 12, coming to rest on that back Yellowstone in fourth shot position.
It's always a difficult thing, Daniel, to throw a fairly big weight takeout and then have to come back with a finesse draw.
Playing the intern hit here.
Sweepers are trying to make it curl. Oh no. Looks like he's got a good one.
Nice hit and stick. Eric Harnden. BC trying to figure out an option because they still want to get their 2 here if possible. There is a double available in the center. It might be something they want to save for their last rock if they can get something buried here.
It almost looks like they want to hit that one that's at the 3 o'clock position, Daniel, and maybe bring that other red rock into play if they can end up getting a double.
The red corner guard on that side is in line with about the age of the 8 foot, so say probably 3/4 of that Yellowstone at the 3 o'clock position is exposed on the intern side.
Yeah, I think it's completely open. It's a finesse shot, but it could bring that other red rock into play. But it looks like they decided to draw down to the one in the back 8 foot.
This is a good shot because if you put it close, Northern Ontario's got to make a decision if they want to try and remove it. Likely going to take out their own stone as well. It starts bringing the opportunity for 2 back into play.
Line looks pretty good and maybe a little heavy. We made it.
We just saw a really nice raised double made by Team Manitoba on the men's semifinal to allow them to take 2 and take a 3-1 lead against Saskatchewan after 4 ends. So the goal for Northern Ontario here, not to leave it an easily freezable area. Considering they're sitting first, third, and fourth shot here, might be okay to roll out in my opinion.
I think they're trying to make a nose hit there though. It's not bad. You'd have to make a pretty... Oh. Someone almost slipped on sheet E. Oh. Trying to just tap it back, Daniel, or
I think so. They're going to try, if they're able to move that 4-foot stone a little bit, they can kind of create a big wall. They're really hoping BC is for a jam or a miss from Al Hackner on his final stone to try and get 2 still. So a little bit on the inside of that 4-foot rock and move it over,
probably
sit in between the 2.
just to kind of go to the button area right on the edge of the rock on the center line would be nice if you could tap it back. Definitely would set up some jam possibilities.
So Les Craig coming out with backhouse weight here.
This rock has got a curl.
A long way to move on this side.
It's moving pretty hard now. Line looks pretty good. It's just
That's finishing really hard. Probably going to overcurl with the original plan. It's going to be a straight draw to the button. Not bad. That's going to be difficult for Northern Ontario to remove cleanly.
if it makes a nose hit, I think he'd be okay. Maybe slightly on the low side. Fill his own and spill the red rock out would work as well.
Yeah, I think he's indicated to try and get the Yellowstone in the 8-foot to clip that on the way by. With some big weight, want to make sure that if there's any sort of jamming, it's going to blast its way out.
The rock looks pretty good.
Punch it through the middle. That's a great shot by Hackner to sit 4.
I think it's tough for BC to score now.
They've got to decide. They might have to come off the side stone and roll behind that.
Well, you could maybe make the double, but with just like board weight.
There's not much discussion on this one. You can't nose and get shot rock on this centerline rock, so
He has to double out those rocks or move both of those rocks in the 4-foot button area, but the difficult part will be trying to keep the shooter around. Because he can't really roll very far. There's still the possibility of this yellow rock jamming on this one. This is like a Christmas
British Columbia sweeping and just misses the piece of the other Yellowstone, so it's going to be a steal of 1 for Northern Ontario to take the lead or continue their lead at 6-2.
Update for you on Sheet E in the women's semifinal. Manitoba stole 2 against Nova Scotia and now leads 5-2.
And another update for the other women's semifinal. Team Ontario took 1 in the 4th end to trail British Columbia 3-1. So in our feature game here, now Northern Ontario leads 6-2 after 4 ends. British Columbia really going to be looking here to try and get 2, hopefully 3 for themselves to get themselves back into this game. So a nice corner guard thrown up by Victor Gamble there. Hackner calling Bruce Moreau to follow down the first shot. Now I'd like to take a minute here to talk about the fantastic host committee and thanking them for helping run this amazing event today this week, at the Pembina Curling Club. It's been something that's been postponed for the last 2 years, so I know there's been a lot of work with reschedules and planning to get everyone ready for this great event, and a big thank you to all the volunteers and the fantastic ice crew. It's been really great ice that the curlers have been enjoying all week. Big thank you to them and all the sponsors, of course, that help support the curling club and running this event. It's super important to have that support to continue with keeping curling alive, and the Canadian Masters Curling Championship has turned into a great successful event for both the curlers and for the club. So a big thank you to everyone involved. So setting up 2 corner guards there. BC's going to look to use hopefully both of them to try and get as many of their stones buried as they can. Northern Ontario is going to continue to ignore those guards until they're able to peel. The 5 rock rule, they'll have to wait until the next shot.
Looks like they're just trying to tap the rock up a bit. Maybe just draw down in front of it. Hanging out, looks like they might be trying to come around, Daniel. Just chip it.
Just picking and rolling there. Setting up nice that British Columbia might be able to use some of those stones to either hit and roll behind their corner guards. Calling just the nose double here, or the hit and roll. I think that the hit and roll here is probably more useful at this stage in the game. You know that Northern Ontario might be looking at starting to peel with a 4-point lead.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd like to get behind the corner guard and force Northern Ontario to remove the corner guard before getting at that shot. Looks like they're going to be close to making a nose double. No. So what do you do if you're Northern Ontario? Do you elect to go up to the rocks in the ring, or do you just remove the corners?
I think it might be time to start peeling our corners. If it was me, your Yellowstone is using their redstone as a guard right now.
Looks like he's trying to look at the angle, put it between.
There's also a bit of a decision on which guard to take. Do you take the one that's guarding your own stone, or the open side, which is what they're electing right now?
I think he's looking to make the peel on that corner guard, and if he can hit it thin enough, maybe make contact with the rock in the rings. That would probably be a plan B. If it works out that they can hit it very, very thin on the corner guard.
Big scrub to hold it on this inside-out takeout. And a nice peel rolling across the house. It's going to sit on the side. I think I liked peeling the other side there, Neil, because now it leaves them, British Columbia, freeze behind the guard.
Yeah, that's a good point, Daniel. For BC, though, it comes down to an end where they have to execute extremely well to score their points, because Northern Ontario is has definitely been on their game today.
The weight looks nice here. That's trying to finish it up to freeze. They'll get onto the nose of that yellow stone. Well, that's probably about a quarter of that red stone is exposed around that corner guard.
Northern Ontario still lies first and second shot though, so
I don't think BC's too concerned about that right now.
I'm just wondering if maybe Northern Ontario will get aggressive and guard the shot stone. Hopefully not. Seems to be indicating to hit the rock in the top 12 8-foot area and roll right out.
So we're going to call peel on that one. I think I like this shot. It's if you peel the center guard or the corner guard, sorry, you open up that freeze. But because that freeze didn't end up being shot rock, that guard is a little less dangerous than it might have been before. They're gonna hit and roll all the way to the side. Stick around, another one in play. One more stone that BC might have to deal with.
BC is indicating they like to come. Well, hang on. I still think if I were BC, I'd be coming around that corner guard, Daniel.
Trying to put another one on top of that red.
Yeah,
That yellow double is always going to be there.
And then let Northern Ontario decide what they want to do. Or they want to try and remove the guard, which probably is to your advantage. Or
so it looks like they're calling the hit and roll, trying to roll off that center line stone to roll frozen to the other corner, frozen to the other yellow.
I don't know if I wonder if they're just trying to make the double.
Possibly, but I think that yellow stone's in a good place for them right now. Even if they move the yellow, they could potentially move the yellow to the other side of the other red there. Just move it over a few inches.
Well, if they could move it so they ended up having first and second shot,
that would be very nice,
shot.
yeah.
Let's see, it's going to be
definitely going to be moving both.
Close, nice shot there.
So that's enough to sit two. Rearranging the angle on the red-yellow freeze.
The red rock, that shot rock right now, is fully exposed though. Northern Ontario is indicate to play a normal weight takeout at this rock.
Big scrub here. They're trying to get the back red. It's a good sweep. And that'll roll buried to be shot.
Eric Harnden has played a marvelous game so far. He's made a lot of key shots for Northern Ontario.
So now BC's got to decide what they want to do with Ron Schmidt's last rock.
I think they could maybe make that double on that yellow on the outside.
I think they want to keep those yellows there a little bit longer, even coming down to your own red and doing a straight tap back, sitting at least one, changing the angle. The yellows are their friends right now with just the one guard.
Tough.
If they want to still keep three in play at least.
Yeah. It's just a very, very finessey shot to try and tap your rock a bit and keep your shooter buried. not easy because it's really, you can't see much of that red rock. Maybe a quarter of it. I think that's what they're going to try, though. They're going to try what you were indicating. Just tap it back. The only downside is if he ever taps his red too far, and then he might take away that double possibility on the yellows.
So really important. They got to play it pretty tight to the guard here.
The line looks pretty good.
Real close. Now they're going to try and finish it with hard curl. It's a really nice shot. It's at first. Oh, maybe not first. It's still yellow.
Still shot rocks.
Second and third shot for red, but really good angles for them. Definitely still usable. Now Northern Ontario's got to decide, what do you do?
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to make Northern Ontario think about what they need to do because the potential for a three-ender is there now. So. Looking to draw in the back four area. Maybe looking to come in off of his own as well.
The whole team down to discuss this one. This is an important shot for Northern Ontario.
This could be one of those.
Pembina pivot points.
That's correct, depending on what happens. Did we ever get a feedback from our viewing audience as to what they preferred?
Well, there was one person, Neil, said Pembina pivot point was good. So that one person was very good and helpful.
Okay, which one of your friends sent that in?
Oh, for that concert. Yeah, Chrissy said that to everyone. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be there.
Would you consider maybe just guarding it?
Potentially. I think there's still opportunity for BC, to play a raise or an in off the side. British Columbia's got to make a big shot on their last one anyways. They're going to try something like that if they have to. They're not going to be content with one, so you really got to make sure you're not leaving a makeable shot for Team British Columbia.
Just for our viewer audience, there really is no time clocks involved.
There's a bell timing system, not individual timers for each team. So if play is deemed too slow and they get called by a bell, they have to finish that end and one more. We haven't seen it affect too many games this week. And they're still playing at a fast enough pace here, just with a little extra discussion on a big important shot here.
So what does it look like they've decided to just...
I'm not sure because they were indicating maybe drawing to the edge of the 4 foot, but they might be trying to...
Back 4 foot area?
Could be back 4 on the center line. They just don't want to leave a double towards that yellow.
No, they've got to be past their yellow one for sure.
They got to be behind the tee line. Unless they're just calling a center guard.
I think it's center guard and then using it to come around later if BC makes a good shot.
They're tapping the back 4 foot.
Sweepers are working hard on this one. They definitely don't want it to come up, set up a potential double. Maybe just leave it.
I think that's not bad.
Not a bad shot.
Still leaves red available to
lie 3.
To lie 3 potentially.
red rock is fully open too, so it's not a problem being able to hit it.
The main thing is trying to hit it with the right weight so everything kind of stays in play. And if they can get their shooter to roll partially behind that recently thrown Northern Ontario rock, that's a good angle for everyone at home to see. Trying to hit about 2/3 to 3/4 of that red stone, roll behind the center line yellow. On the other hand, you could also hit it fairly thin and try and roll all the way to the other side of the house. Just take your shooter away from any sort of raised double.
I think that's what I would be trying, is to hit a little thinner, Daniel, and make sure that rock that you're hitting stays behind the corner guards. I think you're going to have to go on this one.
Big scrub. That inside out line, it really curling here. Need to get...
Oh, he got by, but over curled.
Over curling on that shot, pushing that red through.
And now I don't even know if he's definitely not third, but is he fourth?
It's hard to say. That red may still be usable on the outturn side with a short raise. That depends on where Northern Ontario puts their
I feel
final
like they're
stone.
probably trying to go right in around here,
Right
just
in that.
around the 4-foot area, partially around their guard. As long as they get edge to edge, that's pretty good.
So we're going to give you a quick update from Sheet C, the women's semifinal. Team British Columbia took one in the fifth end to lead 4-1 over Ontario.
It is the semifinals.
So Hackner looking to throw a little bit more weight here, trying to get to a piece of the 4-foot.
Sweepers are working on it. He's gonna have to go hard. I don't know if he's got the weight. Oh, he's got a great looking
Great shot. What a draw to the top of the 4-foot.
Should have never doubted him.
So now it's going to be a big shot here for Wes Craig. Trying to decide, is there a way to get two?
Let's see. I think potentially.
Looking at the angle.
Can you see enough of this red rock to drive it into the red, spill it off, and come into the yellow? And then
That's what they're just looking at. Let's see. Ooh.
Well, I think it's there if you can see enough of this red rock.
It's just,
that's
can you
roughly
see
about
enough of the
the
red? I think you can only see
10
about
o'clock position.
a quarter of the stone on the outturn is available. So that might not be enough.
Because he's going to have to throw at least regular hit to make that shot.
Might be playing a little bit more than that.
Is there combos here, maybe?
There might be some combinations. It depends. We could see something really creative.
Well, it's a very, very tough shot, but if you just throw big weight, tick that one, redirect it into this one. And
The triple there. We're gonna have a big discussion on this shot too. This is really important for Team BC. They're really looking to get more than one in this end, so they're gonna spend their time to find the best opportunity for themselves.
Daniel, unfortunately, being the low-budget operation we are, we don't have a telestrator to kind of demonstrate all the things that we think we can see, but and I don't think the description we're giving is necessarily providing our viewer audience with the information to maybe see the shots that we're looking at.
I'll give you a quick update while we're waiting for the call here. On Sheet B, the other men's semifinal, Saskatchewan took one in the fifth end, now trails Manitoba 3-2.
Well,
So what have they decided here, Neil?
it kind of looks like they're going to try and hit that yellow rock that's in the 12-foot, drive it back, and try and double off that one in the 4-foot, and hopefully clip this yellow rock that's at about the 9 o'clock position.
That's a lot of rocks to move.
And he is
Got the
throwing
big
big
weight.
weight. This could be, it's hanging, so
Might
I
have to
think
be
he's got,
trying to look for another opportunity here.
I think he's got air.
And unfortunately, gonna miss them all.
I think
Looks like it's
a
gonna be a steal
two.
of 2. Yeah, a steal of 2, yellow there. So now Northern Ontario takes the lead, 8-2 after.
I'll do an update. An update for you in Sheet E in women's final action play. Manitoba's
Semi-final action there. Neil.
Semi-final action, getting carried away. Manitoba has stolen another point in the 5th end to go up 6-2 against Nova Scotia.
So Northern Ontario going to continue to put pressure on by putting the first rock in the top 8 foot. Now, if there's ever a time for BC to try and get 3, now would be it. So they're going to set up a corner here and likely set up the double corners like last end.
So you can do that update?
I did it already.
We did?
Yeah.
Good.
Big scrub trying to get this over the hog line. Good sweep.
Northern Ontario has decided to throw the rock through the rings. Not get any rocks in play anymore.
Yeah, they left some freeze opportunities last end, so they don't want to leave too much in the house this time for BC to play down to.
BC looks like they're trying to set up the double guard here. That first guard was maybe a little high.
So Northern Ontario is going to be, goodness, a big scrub. Want to get it into the house.
Look at this. Look at this.
Great shot there. Is it 3? I think they're sitting 3.
So BC is going to try and call the draw around that Yellowstone. That Northern Ontario would have liked that one to come a little bit deeper. And now it's going to act as a guard. Just waiting on this one. The line was a little bit tight, so I'm gonna try and keep an angle to make that red now as a center guard.
Sure,
Be
Northern
tricky to
Ontario will be
remove.
trying to remove stones though.
Might be looking at the corner guards here.
It's not easy to remove those either. Well, it looks like he's just gonna peel off the one rock.
Yeah, that very high corner guard. It's less of a threat with how much curl there is in the
It's a
ice.
little wide on that one, Daniel. I don't know. They're gonna have to work hard to get this to come over. I think we've got a
We got a flash here.
flash here. So there is an opening here for BC. Would you contemplate, if you're a BC, maybe trying to hit one of those rocks to potentially get a split on your red?
I think those Yellowstones, they're just high enough in the house that they may need to use them for cover. You know, you've got the 4 foot and most of the 8 foot to use. So I think they'll keep those yellows for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it looks like that's gonna work. Just seems like that last end kind of took some of the steam out of BC. Should do a timeout. It should be right on the tee line, right behind the 12 foot.
Right beside where that rock is. You shouldn't have moved yellow to red.
Yeah, no.
Put right up against it.
So Northern Ontario gonna try just the peel on the center red. I'm gonna ignore those corner guards now. This one's a little bit tricky. You gotta be careful. You're not gonna jam on. So Northern Ontario probably gonna be okay with close to nose here. A good shot, able to spin over, cover their own stone. Really taking away that side of the ice. Now 4 guards, no intern draw available for BC.
Looks like they might have to try a raise or something like that to get one in. So he indicated he's going to try and raise that red rock in, Daniel, or that's what I can see.
That's what he indicated, which, you know,
That's not an easy shot.
it's not an easy shot, but at the point that they're at right now, they once they move that red stone, it might open the draws up again for them.
Yeah, we just
Now you can see there that the red stone, the one closest to the center line, is the one they're going to be trying to tap back.
just don't know if it's going to be that easy trying to remove those yellow rocks now, though.
Good weight. That's going to
Good effort there.
slightly too much of an over curl there, but able to move things back and get something buried in the house. May come into play if some yellows can be removed.
But Northern Ontario is line 3 right now. Here's the key shot. Should get a jab or run it straight through.
So Northern Ontario looking to split the yellows a little bit, get another one in there, really trying to take away any opportunity for BC to draw around. Carndon playing the intern draw here. Just trying to move their yellow back. Get a little bit closer to the 4-foot. Make the draws for Wes Craig and his team a little bit more difficult.
Nice little shot there, Danny. I think Saskatchewan. BC needs to look at maybe playing the hit and roll, I would think.
So Neil, you're going to be leaving tomorrow and you won't be with us for the final. You're going to go be watching your daughter in the Everest Canadian Curling Club Championships in Edmonton.
No, she's curling with your wife Lisa, so and it's quite amazing that they were able to win Manitoba and get to their first national championship. So they're all excited about that. So I want to make sure I'm out there for their first attempt at going for a Canadian championship, which should be a really good event.
Yeah, so we'll be excited to be cheering them on in Edmonton next week. And here we see BC coming down. They're attempting a double, but over curl and just take the one.
Some scary games coming up here. Might have to move over.
So Hackner going to just try and call the nose on this Yellowstone. BC is really going to need to make probably, I'd say, a hit and roll off the wide one on their next one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what
they need to get 2 here minimum. So we got an update for you on the women's semifinal. Ontario took 1 in the 6th end, trails British Columbia 4-2, just over curling on a hit attempt for 4, but still taking 1, and now trails without the hammer. So here in our game, we've got Northern Ontario making a nice hit and stick.
They created kind of a yellow brick wall in front there.
See
Really
Wes Craig indicating potentially a triple takeout to try and bring that red back into play on the side.
I think it's there.
So this is going to be big weight trying to get the triple here. Just kind of waiting for it to curl. It's got to finish up a little bit. And here it's coming. Again, lots of movement now. Good angle. Again, 2 of the stones got to push it out enough. I think it's enough to push them to sit 2nd and 3rd shot now for British Columbia, with just the Northern Ontario stone right on the pin there. So a nice shot by Team BC. Northern Ontario's got to be careful. They'll need to stick around if they're going to try and play that open hit.
It's not an easy hit, Daniel. I think it's almost an edge-to-edge type of situation between the yellow rock and the red rock.
They really want to get close to nose to avoid leaving a in-off situation. And if they get close to nose, there's going to be a potentially very difficult shot.
Well, didn't even look at the in-off off their own. That was what they should have been trying. That sheet. Yeah. It's exciting. Would you consider just drawing in if you're maybe Northern Ontario and try and bury around that red guard? Just to lie to.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. If you can get full 8 foot around the red corner guard, that'd be pretty nice. You just got to be careful you don't put it in a spot that you leave a double, because 3's in play. You remove that red stone, you for sure only giving a maximum of 2. With a 6-point lead, that's probably something that's comfortable for them.
I think if you can make a nice draw though around this red guard and lie 2, it pretty much holds them to 1. And he seems to have had draw weight pretty much the entire game. We're having a pretty long discussion on this.
So they're going to be calling the nose hit on the red stone. And we've got an update for you on Sheet B. The other men's semifinal, Manitoba taking 1 in the 6th end to lead 4-2 against Saskatchewan. Sitting between. Over there. So this is looking nice, just a gentle clean by the sweepers. On and off, trying to get that nose. And a nice shot by Al Hackner. Well,
I guess you pretty much
you got
have
a
to go
really
for the thin
skinny double.
Who's throwing those before? 1985?
Don't we have a call in?
Would you play this turn on this one, Neil? I think I'd probably want to play the out turn.
I think I'd play the shot that's running a little straighter.
Oh, that's true.
Bit control over that. Either way, it doesn't really matter, Daniel. It's a very tough shot. He just has to catch like maybe an inch of that rock.
Yeah.
Off and on a little bit. Looks like it could be very close.
Oh, and just not catching enough.
Yeah, no.
So that's going to be 2 yellow and handshakes.
Handshake time.
And Northern Ontario is going to defeat Team BC 10-2 and advance to the final. British Columbia is going to be moving to the bronze medal game that's going to be happening tomorrow at the same time. And I'm going to try and give you an update here in a few moments once we see the end of Sheet 6 on the Manitoba-Nova Scotia game.
You just tap the rock in. Is he going to get by? See if you can figure out where it's at.
So
I think that was last round.
just seeing Manitoba versus Nova Scotia here. Manitoba is getting 1, and it looks like it's going to be a measure for whether it's going to be a steal of 2. This is the women's game. Might stay on a little bit longer to see the results of this measure and maybe give you a couple more updates from the other games and how things are sitting. Once again, we'd like to really thank all the volunteers and sponsors and the ice crew at the Pembina Curling Club. It's been a fantastic week so far. Tomorrow, we're going to have the finals and the bronze medal games. Lots of updates for all the games. The games will be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Neil will be gone, but I'll be here for commentary. So after watching that game, Northern Ontario really taking a commanding lead. Starting after the third end, once they took the lead of 5-2, really in good control of their weight with their hits, Neil?
Well, they had good touch with the takeout weight all night. They were throwing like a firm bumper type of hit weight and allowing the sweepers to control the hits.
And an update from Sheet E, we just got the call. It was a steal of 2 for Manitoba, leading 8-2 against Nova Scotia in the women's semifinal.
I don't know if I mentioned that strategy call.
And just quickly want to update everyone on scores for the other games going on in the other women's semifinal. Currently, British Columbia is leading 4-2, playing 7. They're on their first third stones. And on Sheet B, the Team Manitoba is leading 4-2 against Saskatchewan in the men's semifinal. So for the rest of the draws, folks, I recommend that you turn your eyes to the online scores on Pembina Curling Club website. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you for everyone watching. This has been the semifinals of the Canadian Masters Curling Championships at Pembina Curling Club, and we're signing off.